r/askreddit. 35-plus-year-old men, would you date a 20-year-old woman? Why not? To sum up, most men would fuck her, but wouldn't date her. I'm only 28 and 20 years old is pushing it. I wouldn't feel comfortable dating a girl I couldn't legally buy a drink for. Most likely not. 1. I'm happily married. 2. I would have a hard time not being unintentionally condescending AF with that woman. She could be my daughter. I have seen, experienced, and done things when she wasn't even born yet. 3. We would have very different sets of interests. 4. I have seen 23 years of age difference in my parents. My father died when I was 15. I experienced how he became senile. I wouldn't want to do that to potential children. Bottom line, I wouldn't know what to do with a woman that much younger than me, and there would very likely be a massive power imbalance in the relationship. This question is meaningless without context about the people involved, the relationship in particular, etc. But, I'm in a relationship with a larger age gap and we're both very happy. Nope, we would be at very different stages of life. Definitely not. A 20-year-old is literally 2 years removed from their high school antics. I have a mortgage and retired parents I need to look after. There's basically no chance for a common set of experiences to form the core of a relationship, and frankly I wouldn't want to pollute someone's youth with my adult bullshit. I'm 46. 20-year-old women don't even seem like the same species to me. No. When I found myself single at 30, I found that I had nothing in common with any women under 25. And they were somewhat annoying. I can only imagine what they are like now that I am 47. I'd rather be single. I wouldn't say a hard no, everyone is different and matures at different speeds. But I am mostly looking to date to find someone long-term. The chances are that a 20-year-old doesn't know who they are enough yet to even forecast what a future would be. I have clicked with younger and older people, it's not an age thing, it's a vibe thing. No. I'm late 30s and wouldn't go over a decade younger. As a happily married 69-year-old, it's a purely theoretical question. Age can be important, or not, depending on the people involved. Also, calendar age is not the same as experience, talent, and a variety of other factors. If I was 35 and a 20-year-old airhead showed interest in me, I would run away. If she had great experience or talent, it might work. FYI, my wife is 77. Date. No. Fuck. Yes. Nope, my niece is older and I see her as tiny baby still, 20 yo would be like babysitting. I'm 29 and wouldn't do it. 20-year-olds are stupid. No. Live different lives and not for me. I don't want to babysit. No, because a big part of a successful relationship is shared life experiences. For example, most 20-year-olds wouldn't get most of the pop culture references that old heads like me make. My husband's former boss, who was 40-something, was saying how he would only date 10s, then started bragging when he started dating a hot 18-year-old. I, as a 31-year-old woman, just find it weird to want to date someone so much younger than you, even if they're legally an adult. No, I just turned 35, girls in their early 20s look like teenagers to me now, and that is not a positive. No. Because 6 years ago I started paying a mortgage. 6 years ago, she was in middle school. I'm 51, and if I were single, I wouldn't date anyone much younger than me. I don't want to date anyone much younger than me, let alone someone young enough to be my daughter. To me, that's just creepy as hell. As a woman, I will add this to what men say. A 20-yo has growing up to do and experience life. Such an older man 9.9 times out of 10 will skew this trajectory. Either being drawn to the inexperience and seeking to manipulate the woman, or by being immature himself and not realizing the impact and power he inevitably has over her. A man at that age may be attractive to a young woman, but if he is attracted to her, to me he is a massive walking red flag. Same goes for the reverse situation. Honestly, the whole older man / much younger woman is totally overdone. Of course there will always be men who like younger women and vice versa. Unsurprising, because some men like fucking car exhausts and others get turned in by clowns and other AY balloons. So being attracted to a younger, adult, woman is pretty tame and normal. But, As an older guy who has spent a lot of time around 19 to 25-year-olds at work, I cannot think of anything worse than dating them. Some are pretty, but the conversation is terrible. Having to spend an hour at lunch talking to one of them is way more than I or my friends can cope with. So much better to chat to a confident, assured woman in her 40s, 50s, or 60s. I am 48 and they look and act like kids to me. In my opinion, nobody over 40 has any business dating a 21-year-old. When I was 36, I went on a date with a 21-year-old, very attractive, 6'1" blonde who was getting ready to go to inpatient sex addiction therapy the next week. Her mother was a prominent, wealthy attorney. At the end of the date she asked if I wanted to hang out. I politely declined. Before she went to treatment she took me to the opera. We had some of the best seats in the house. I told her they must have been expensive. She just shrugged nonchalantly. I lost touch with her after that. People that age are still developing emotionally and don't always make good decisions. People over 35 have a responsibility to keep impressionable youth safe and guide them in the right direction, not take advantage of their naivete for their own amusement. My real daughter is 43 this month. I could not perceive having any form of romantic relationship with a woman half her age, let alone what my wife might think about it. I'm not quite at 35 yet, but I'm close enough. I'm not going to say I'd never do it, but as a general rule I'd avoid it. Why? Well, she's barely an adult, so to some people that could be a bit creepy. And at that age there's a pretty big gap in maturity, lifestyle, and life goals, even with a 5-year difference. And of course a 15-year difference is getting up there no matter the actual ages. It would have to be someone very special. I'd have to be sure we're both actually fine with it, not just getting into a relationship because we're both available, and I'm definitely not looking for someone that young to date. I'm 42. First, would have to be clearly into me, and ask me out unambiguously. Second, she would get one date. Mostly out of respect for her actually asking. I can't imagine any way for her to get a second date. But with billions of people there are extreme outliers. I have to admit it might be possible. I don't know how, but I don't know everything. Nope. While it may seem great when you're all alone at home with your putt-in out and in your hand, it's weird and odd in real life. She doesn't get any references. Unless you're an immature 35-year-old loser. Then it's a perfect match. I dated a 20-year-old when I was 30. I didn't know her age when I asked her out, but she looked like 25. At first the age gap didn't seem large, but over time it grew. Nice girl and it was fun while it lasted. 35 and 20 would be crazy. Sleep with? Probably. Date? No. At 33 I dated a girl who was 22, and that took months of internal battle to tell myself that a 10+ year gap was probably okay. She's the one who insisted it's fine, and I eventually figured it's stupid and probably prejudiced in some way to reject her purely for age, because we did get along very well. So we tried dating. Then she showed her true colors and was the most unbearable, immature, selfish, unworldly child I have ever had the displeasure of knowing. Too much perfume. I don't want to taste it when I walk by you. I don't know if she was doing this to be sexy or if it was just how she spoke, but I was hanging out with this girl I matched with on Tinder. She spoke as if she was like, whining. It's hard to describe, kind of like how one would talk to their dog but with less affection/emotion. That aggressive lip licking that TikTok boys do, it's not even subtle. Pretending to be an idiot and clumsy. Not being themselves. Mimicking behavior they think is sexy because other people or media have told them it's sexy. It's not. Playing sexy comes off like Austin Powers. Fake vocalizations. I know what it sounds like when I wring it out of a guy myself. Moan when you can't help it, not when you think you should. That one Redditor's girlfriend who bites her lip during sex. Her top lip. Talk about how alpha they are. Instant red flag to me. When guys fake a deep voice and sound robotic, when girls think toxic relationships is sexy/strength. Guys who brag about their possessions and are overly cocky.